So then once the event has happened, the nature of our role changes quite dramatically.
Your role meaning Brisbane.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't necessarily feel like I need to say things in a way that's still holding that space. The seeds have been planted, and now we see what takes root, and that enables me to speak without that filter a bit more, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay.
As well as that, I'll just try and be as honest as I can.
Yeah. I've been trying to help you have that hold that space. Yeah, if you notice, for like since we started, this is like a month, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that we compressed everything into one single event, and actually it was important to chunk it, and realize it's not possible to. I mean, we did much more than what we expected in that single event.
Yeah.
But that was like a blessing, not the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feeling on the Saturday was beautiful.
Yeah.
But it was just one day.
Yeah.
And so it's a blessing that it happened.
It's a blessing that it happened.
But in the larger context, I think we all know there's still a lot
that
needs to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, to come back to your question, because you asked me what my reservations were. That was the central point is that it's really, I really feel a need to see that there is a drive coming from the network, let's say, from the projects here. That is the main thing that I'm holding right now, and especially in relation to the decision about do we continue with Cardano, because for me it's more a decision, it's more a question of are we going to commit to this? And when I say we, the dependence, it's dependent on there being will and drive from the network. It needs to, the force of it needs to come from outside of Prisma, basically. Yeah. So that's a little bit
clear, but the possibility of going through Cardano or not depends on the clarity of your message. And that you need to be more clear with that.
In what sense, Simo?
That we need clarity on what's possible and what's not possible, so that we know that if we want to go that road or not. Because to me there's a clear intention that everybody stated on Saturday and yesterday that there is a seed planting and people want to go forward. But this can take many different routes. Okay, we go slow. Okay, we take the momentum. Okay, let's aim for the goal of whatever solar manifest in the summer, and let's go now to build something and ask for funding. And if that is the goal, maybe, and it's not clear whether Cardano path is achievable, maybe it's going to be distracting us from the goal instead of helping us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there's this goal of organizing around this common ideas and making visible a larger network and exploring these tools, and more than anything, it's clearly exploring funding for common projects. So that seed is there, it's planted, and people even want to come in. Now, Grant helps us get to that goal. Canning or
So
it's, on the other hand, from the technical side, it's interesting that gave a lot of fuel to Archivaso and Loco to organize the projects that have been ongoing.
Yeah.
Because I met with Loco, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
We met in November, but then we met to talk about our things in common, and he shared with me his technical visions and blockchain and governance and all that.
Yeah.
And we both got very enthusiastic about that path, but he was already
Advanced.
really, one advanced in his thinking, and with some tools already, some few things already tested. But from then to when we call him again to be part of this, he advanced quite a bit.
Yeah.
And from that moment to now,
even more. Yeah. In the 3-4 weeks that I've known him, it's been like leaps forwards.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, it's like, oh, you've done all of that since we last spoke? That's crazy.
Yeah.
He must have like an army of agents.
So why was I bringing him? Because
his
development. Yeah. That's my point, I guess, is how committed are we from the technical side to Cardano? It would be a pity for him to. So my point is, taking his opinion about which road to take is not a minor thing. I think we need to ponder.
Steward that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Because he is the only one that actually did a lot of work.
Yeah, he's the poster child right now.
And he has to have that card.
Yeah. It would be a disservice to his efforts.
Yeah.
And looking at this page, as we were discussing and writing this down, it seems that the projects he already has with real code, he can modularize and share them across the teams that you have on your radar.
Right.
within this hub network, let's say.
So he potentially has 7 modules that he can share with the teams.
And that means it's not just a retrospective of his journey and his development, but he is actually bringing this line of work forward by giving it like a sort of structure.
Mhm.
So that's a really tangible, really clear structure that we could commit to, and that's then like uh, giving enough shape to how these projects work together going forward. So it's very tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. And as we were talking today, what I thought is it's kind of like how I said in the call yesterday. We can use this Cardano grant tactically to give these projects something tangible to work on in the immediate term. Tactically, for me, would mean delivering milestones as fast as possible, basically, and getting the funding and distributing it as fast as possible, so that it's as much worth everybody's time as it can be. With this structure from Archie Brasso, from Doco, that's tangible enough to action on it from today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But if we go with the milestones the way Cardano wants them, even though we are way advanced through him
Yeah,
in the technical side,
yeah,
we are a little bit behind in the numbers,
right,
groups, and the amount of people.
right.
So we need to create, so in order for this to move forward, which I think is what we are talking about,
Yeah,
through Cardano and take advantage of this, we need to create an event as a very short. Yeah, we do. We need to create. It's not a.
I was literally thinking, are you gonna say event? Are you gonna say event?
Yeah, of course. We need to create an event with 60 people signing up and 10 groups signing up.
It sounds like I'm gonna come back.
It doesn't have to be.
So
It doesn't have to be in person. Then you need to come back for the third event or whatever. But this
it'll
doesn't
be
mean
part of doing it tactically.
No, this would be right. It would be the tactic. Okay, we need to create an event. This event is in person and virtual. We need to create a very organized content so that people, so that people that are not in person can go through. It could be as simple as reading some material, distributing material, which could be things, something to read and then a video to watch. I don't know, that like a little workshop that we distribute around book. First is like putting in common what is that happened so far. Sharing the common goal. For the newcomers is a little onboarding into Web3.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we need to design it. Like, not that concerned. I wouldn't put the focus on the content, though ideally it would be very nice. As much as we can focus on the amount of people and the amount of number of groups. So if we are 6 now, we need 5 more just to ensure that nobody falls in the crack. And we need to count how many people. We need to do accounting of how many people that each organization can bring in, and then count how many more people we will need. So we need I don't know how you need to present, how you need to document this. What's the minimum? What's the minimum? It's not even you.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the minimum requirement for us to present documentation of this to Catalyst?
That's not a one item response. So there's documentation needed for the projects themselves, for the code.
That's a separate thing.
The evidence, I think you mean evidence, right?
I wonder about the evidence of the 60 people on the groups.
The evidence for the 60.
Mine's on one.
Yeah, okay. The evidence for the 60 would be a CSV file from a Luma export.
Okay.
That's it.
So, and the date of the Luma export has to have a stamp, a date, an event?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so can we create an event for
Yeah.
when it's like we need to put a date that is not too far advanced that Catalyst will say, hey, this is already way behind. Or we use the same event and we add more people.
I was thinking that we could move...
Because in the event there are different dates inside.
There is, yeah, but we need
Can we just modify the event? And
I just realized as well, you know how sometimes we compare to the previous events, like the one in Africa, and there's these differences. I just realized that the last time we did an event like this, where it wasn't multiple, it was more like one hub. With this exact same catalyst structure for the grant, one of the big differences is I was owning the deliverables in a way. So I'm seeing this pattern where there's these questions about like what's needed to deliver the deliverables.
Right. That's why I'm being honest with you with the question. It's like what's needed, not what Prisma needs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you already lit the fire and this. So what is the we need to give to Catalyst? And then it doesn't necessarily need to go through the platform. You know, it's something that you can have to check if you can make it go through the platform or not.
When you say the platform, do you mean the Catalyst platform?
No, yours. When you say owning, they say owning their
deliverables.
That's I guess what you mean. No, that's not what you mean.
No.
What is it you mean?
What I mean is that as we were going through that project, I personally was the one who was regularly checking the milestones, making sure that there's people delivering for each different chunk of it, making sure we send them in as fast as possible, basically, and making sure that I was balancing between the holistic stuff, the whole system and actualizing, and delivering the milestones, so that even though we were communicating in a way that was about methodology and fancy regenerative stuff, I knew that we still had enough to deliver the milestones. And I just realized now, 20 seconds ago, that was a very active responsibility I was very actively taking. And I haven't taken it at all this time. And it's important to say that, I think, because that leaves a gap. And I think it was because from the beginning I knew that I was going to be I was not going to be able to cover everything how we've covered it before, because it was just me this time, because the rest of the team wasn't available. And that was also a big factor in why I was keen to give the vast majority of the budget to the participating organizations, so that it was also giving the ownership, the vast majority of the ownership and responsibility, because I couldn't cover it all myself. So yeah, I just realized that. And it's one of those things where it feels now like it's helpful to say that, so that we can factor that in how we take action together. We just didn't even have the time to reflect on those things during this program, because it was also rushed.
Mhm.
But that's to say that that's a particular capability or responsibility that's needed, so that someone's actually making sure we're delivering these milestones. And I think that it's been a bit absent, that responsibility.
Of delivering the milestones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's like this. You can only go one step at a time, and we mix them all together. So going back to, we need to deliver the first milestone.
Yeah.
And so we need to create an event to. But I don't know what is required. That's why I'm asking for you. What is required is to create to download this Luma subscribed event page.
Yeah.
And we can do it through the same invite.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
it would be
the fact that we need to bring new people in,
yeah, merge them.
It doesn't necessarily conflict with the fact that, I mean, we need to deliver the Luma with 60 people, 10 groups, and personally, we need more groups and we need more people, but they don't necessarily need to go together, right? You know what I mean? The way we incorporate more people, maybe goes in parallel with the
we sort of keep backfilling the event,
right, something like that.
Yeah. The thing is, there's another deliverable which is
basically we have two events, and maybe there's not 100% of overlap, and everybody that came is going to come, and that's fine.
Yeah.
As long as we all continue.
There is a detail of attendance. There needs to be a certain percentage of attendance. So the thing is, the more we try to bend the shape of the milestones, the more it's going to get complicated, I think.
But what's pending and what's not pending?
Well, that's the thing. So the milestones as they currently are basically have this structure of being processed in time, where it includes some pre-training before an in-person event. And that pre-training, there's deliverables where it's like a certain number of workshops, for example. So to give you an example of what I meant about that role I was playing in the previous event.
Right. So who's going to fill out that role if we don't understand the?
Well, so in the previous event, the workshops were just a natural byproduct of marketing the program, basically, as part of trying to engage everyone in this future in-person event, we would do some online calls so that they could learn about what's going to happen. But we made those calls super interesting because we delivered real training content. And those became the workshops, so we could then just complete the milestones in and amongst this flow of the program. I think what happened a little bit this time is there wasn't
Workshops on what?
on regenerative principles, on the documentation, tooling,
What is the foundation to them?
Prisma stuff.
Okay. You notice that you didn't do any onboarding workshop on
I did.
when,
There's a recording
to whom,
to you.
to only me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, this is not a criticism. This is,
But it is a
but the problem here,
gap.
there's a gap. The problem here is that people were expected to understand
Yeah.
something that nobody explained before, and that goes from Prisma to everything that lies underneath, including how to use Telegram and a bot and why, and how to extract information afterwards, and and understanding why doing it, and the main reason why doing it is because that's the way information is presented to capitalists. But in your there's an extra layer there, which is done through the platform, because it's an action learning journey, and the right, and the people can use the platform to understand about their
So this is making me realize that there's a lot of first principles that we didn't have time to cover, because, for example, this phrase of the Prisma platform is kind of an anti-pattern, because to come from the place very concretely, all of our applications work as a kind of template, which means they introduce some structure, but they're not complete. And because we share the source code and it lives within the organization of the participating teams, they can hack on that and change it without limits. And so very quickly it becomes their platform. There's no, there is centralized platform hosted and maintained by Prisma, a one-man software development department currently. But it's only centralized because of delay in deploying it. So once the is still tending towards deployment and distribution, and it's only centralized so long as we're not reaching that point of deployments. And once it's deployed, you run the source code in your own environment, so and you're encouraged to change it in customers and make it your own. So it's very quickly becoming your own platform.
Yeah. But we haven't used it personally.
No, not at all.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
And so that's where I see a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But a lot of unnecessary demand from the groups to use it. And that is, I guess, the main objection that anybody looking from outside will give us too. You know what I mean? Because
it's unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary. It added a lot of uncertainty in me. And how do I convey this in this platform and a lot of regenerative theory behind that we didn't convey to others. We started using tooling like
yours.
No, like Telegram and the way recording voice notes, meetings, creating calendars that are that nobody else participated. When different organizations meet to do something together, they agree on processes.
Totally. I totally agree. It was a bit forceful.
And we did not agree. And the product the feedback yesterday is that it's hard for other people to see agreements and clear progress, bullet points of meetings, all the processes that usually organizations have within themselves, and each one does it their own way. But there's some certain things that are common. Usually people have a meet, for example, if it's virtual, and then there are the meet notes or the Gemini notes or somebody that takes notes, and there's okay, this is what we talked about, this is what we agreed, these are the next steps. In every conversation with that. And not having that makes people get they get lost. And say, oh, but I didn't know that the pay that went down. Oh, I didn't know that that the milestones from this and that. And so, like for example, now we're having a conversation that is important for everyone, and I think we need to produce okay, this is what Caps and Danny agreed, and Doko was here too. That we want to explore, we want to continue going through Carla. I know we praise God for this and this reason and this other next actions that we should take.
We haven't said that yet, though.
No, we did there. With Doko. Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't given my.
You haven't
I haven't given my commitment yet.
Okay. One year commitment.
So I feel like we need to differentiate between, like how we're already doing, the next steps for this network of projects as one item, its own trajectory. The Cardano milestones as a grant, and Prisma stuff, tooling and methodology mostly.
Sorry, but I needed to respond to the final that's like
That's fine. Differentiating between three things. The trajectory of this network of projects. The Cardano Catalyst grant and the
Yeah.
milestones,
Yeah.
and the Prisma process and tooling.
Yeah.
Those
Which could be, yeah.
Those are
exactly.
three
It's great,
separate things.
Exactly. We need to separate things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're very interrelated, very enmeshed currently.
They are very enmeshed, and we need to see that they could go
They don't need to
separately.
be.
They don't need
Exactly.
to be. Because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
And
maybe separate
all of
a
them
bit
can have a
first.
lot of potential.
Yeah.
And they can reach their potential.
Yeah.
Maybe, they get together. But,
Yeah.
but not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Exactly. So let's spend a bit of time separating them.
Yeah.
Generating common understanding.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think we can take some clear decisions.
Great.
Yeah?
Yes.
Cool. So the way that I see it is the trajectory of the network is sovereign. It's all of the organizations that we continually list like 3 times a day. And it's that network that has gone through this collective movement of converging towards this event and now questions about next steps, right? That's its own entity. That's completely separate from, well, it's distinct from Prisma as an entity, and it has its own life distinct from the milestones and any kind of Prisma integration processes or whatever. That's one thing.
Yeah. At the beginning, we call this the FE narrative calling for solar panels.
Yes.
That's what it is. It could
Yeah.
be called whatever, but that's what we identified before.
Yeah, great. So, and it was on that basis that we've developed this kind of, in a way, that's the client of Prisma, where it has been the client of Prisma. And I feel like every time I say Prisma, I just need to name the elephant in the room that there's questions around like, why are you talking about an organization when we've not spoken with anyone else? I just want to say that that's like a huge challenge for me as well. It's not like I'm trying to inflate something. It's been a huge constriction recently. The organization is almost like it's gone through a delicate phase, let's say, and I feel a responsibility to continue to refer to it in that way, as if there is a whole organization to it, because it has had its own long trajectory as well, even though I've been contributing in what many times feels like just myself as an individual capacity. So I just want to name that openly to address any kind of uncertainty around that. I'm aware of that too, basically. Okay. Anyway, so there's this relationship between the solar punk FE narrative network and hubs and Prisma, where Prisma has been sort of servicing this network with well, yeah, actually that's interesting. So that's how it usually works, that we service the network with a program, but the program has been very, I wouldn't say it's representative of an organization delivering a service. But there's that relationship, let's say, between those two entities. In a way, we're both part of this context of this grant, which gives us this opportunity to do this kind of work. But that's the third and distinct entity. And what we need to decide on today is how all of this moves forwards. What do we want to keep? What do we not want to move forwards with? But the way that I would understand the Cardano grant is it's the funding. It's one source of funding, even though there's uncertainty around that as well. The two uncertainties that I've written down are the price of ADA, which has dropped a lot already in the last like 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and the changes to the milestones. Those are 2 points of uncertainty. It's actually helpful to name them as part of the grant because there's nothing I can control necessarily. And in relation to the changes to the milestones, I can check it, I can submit the change request, but there's nothing there that's necessarily within the domain of Prisma to action on besides facilitating that link, that communication. So a detail as well. But this is to say that that's the kind of like context. Are there any specifics that you want to add? Any questions that you want to ask at this stage? Is there anything that you're holding where you're like highlighting this detail would give some more clarity to things to enable us to make some decisions going forward?
No, I think it's important to separate the three, and which is then the network,
Yeah,
Prisma, and the grant.
yeah,
The network, there's a decision that wants to aim for funding goal to develop itself and to get funding for a particular event so far, whatever, call it the Solar Manifest. So for 2 things, one is to develop and reveal itself, develop the tools and get visibility, and the other is to get funding for different things. One is for the event. The other is Cardano, and we see the possibility of continuing, but you need to give the okay.
That's interesting. Though.
What?
If you want to go forwards with the catalyst grant, but hypothetically, if I don't,
Yeah,
that blocks you.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
So then that
That's
creates,
your right, huh?
That creates a bit of an interesting.
That's your grant. It's not the network's grant.
Yeah.
So that you can say, hey, I want to put my energy on something else. This is not worth it for me.
Yeah.
Also because I don't believe a thing of what you're saying or doing, or I don't trust that you will deliver whatever reason it is. It's another. But
you're me right now.
Yeah, you need to be as clear as possible, as soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
like now, for example.
right now, okay, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much we can decide for ourselves. You didn't formally call this meeting.
Yeah.
But, was supposed to happen.
We can call it again.
We can call it that it's happening.
Yeah.
If you want to.
No, I think I need to speak to.
But maybe you want to. Maybe we can say we had this informal meeting with Doko. We see that there is this possibility of actually moving forward with a grant that we can deliver was deliverable, and this is what is required: getting more people for having more groups and getting more people to achieve the 60 people milestones. This is the way we're going to do it, and and also show there was a lot of tooling already very close to being actually not just delivered, but delivered and potentially being adopted, which is much more than usually what other probably groups prototypes would deliver, which is not small, right?
Yeah.
Potentially anyway, but
Yeah.
so this is achievable. Now, I think you need to maybe call this meeting and say, hey, you know, I agree, we can move forward if you all want.
Yeah, but I want to speak to, well, I think you just invited me to speak to before, which was my sort of restraints.
We didn't talk about the before you talk about your restraints.
Yeah.
You said restraints that the network is imposing on you.
Yeah, right.
Which is not little, because I understand that you feel that Prisma is not
using much of its value proposition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wonder how does that hit you? Because,
great.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for opening that space.
Yeah. Because I'm fully aware and that's what I was trying to say before.
Yeah.
I've been holding that space over weeks of like this is TAPS is bringing this and we need to try to do things the way he's proposing that. On the other hand, we haven't proposed a clear methodology because the time constraint and having to try to call communities and people, and so it did not happen, and that created a little bit of uncertainty in others into how does this work. So we need to understand about blockchain. We have this conversation many times. We need to understand blockchain. We need to get a wallet. We need to get onboarded into this, into that, and also into the tooling of Prisma. And if we do all that, remember, if we do all that, on the top of that, we need to fast forward getting people onboarded into meeting for an event. This is not going to happen. And we managed to make it happen because two things, I think, because you were open into that we were moving forward, but falling through the cracks of Prisma, but moving anyway. And I was able to hold the space and say, hey, don't get offended. We're moving.
You did hold that. I see that. Oh, that's so nice. Oh yeah. Yeah. I see that now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Because as you said, you push this on a personal level. Not maybe through Prisma necessarily, and why can't continue to be that way? And then I said this many times. There's still a lot of potential in the Prisma tooling, but they don't necessarily go together. The activation of the network and Prisma tooling, because of the compression of the time, and because what I see is that different organizations have different tools and ways of communicating. Some groups are very analog. Boa Quintessencia goes with his, notepad and likes to do everything in writing.
That's funny.
So and other people like Meet and Gemini Notes and are very clear with it.
6 AIs in every meeting.
Like, okay, ta 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 ta. and other people meet just in person. So getting everybody to say, okay, you drop your processes, and now we're going to learn about this process and do everything this way.
Yeah.
It is way too much to ask. Well, so one
Yeah.
potential that I saw, I share with you,
Yeah.
it is the potential to use your platform as a platform to track the progress of FE funding.
Oh yeah, the progress bar.
Yeah, not just a progress bar. It's the process itself.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we have this. You have, it's a similar thing. You have a FE, and is uh, starting a funding process that they will reignite activation around the world in different things. So it's not only funding,
Yeah.
it's similar to what we're doing here. You know what I mean? It's like it's asking for funding, but also the funding is for activating the narrative and creating actions around the network. So there are screenings in Europe, I don't know, in Copenhagen last week and here and there. And those screenings involve people that come to an event. And how is that registered anywhere? And how is that being tracked? And people go to the screening and they want to do something. Okay, I want to do something.
Yeah.
Okay, that activates, okay, you can join a community, you can join an action, you can join, okay, where are you physically? I am in Barcelona, or I am in Copenhagen, or,
Yeah.
you know, I live in Argentina, I happen to be here.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that mapping that makes the people that give funds to FE see what is happening.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have a way of mapping that.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to tell you. Hey, your platform could be maybe a great, I don't know, maybe, I mean, I see the potential, but that depends on people really adopting it.
Yeah.
And in order to adopt, it has to be a very friendly way of using it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I see a very, I see a potential of in a theoretical level of seeing network activation.
Yeah.
But I don't know you. It's,
I see it.
it's not your. It was not in your radar, and maybe it's how you
It was
get involved.
no, but I see it. I can see how it could work because each screening would be like an event.
Right.
And if you wanted to also for that screening to be really generative, so that there's lots of discussion and follow-ons, there's specific tools to complement that so that as it's generative, that information is actually used to make visible, hey, there's this activity in the network, and then connect.
The thing is how you can make it visible for the funding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that requires that users have to have a very friendly way of interacting.
Yeah.
Activators, network leaders have to have a very friendly way of calling into, not just of calling, of onboarding their calls into the platform.
Yeah. The
way they do it, because it's not that you're going to, if you tell each person that is creating an action in Rosario, like Felipe did, or in Copenhagen that Lucila did, or in Barcelona, like Lola does, whatever. Everybody calls to the event their own way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Can we offer a platform in the FE Prisma, the fe.org that people can use to do that, but maybe if they do it another way, they can load it anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Totally.
the kind of thing
That's
that I
exactly
see the potential
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
but I'm not clear that we as a network here in Argentina, we are mature because we have other problems. But if you add an extra layer of tooling, it creates extra friction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for Effie, it's a potential tool of making the network grow.
Yeah.
Because it's not a network of blockchain.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
It's a social activation. So
yeah.
I'll be right back. Will we pause it?
Yeah.
So anyway, this is a distracting topic, right?
Yeah, it's separate because we need to decide. We need to be decisive about the Cardano grant. Yes or no.
Yeah, it has
I think
nothing to do with
it's separate.
yeah.
But yeah,
So that
thanks
could be
for sharing. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have that on the radar.
Okay.
Like some potential. And yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's clear, but anyway.
Oh yeah, we noted it at some point that we would work on that during this.
And work on what?
On the activations and the screenings, and that it could be one product that a team develops.
That's where I saw the potential for Prisma.
Yeah.
So,
but
the rest, I guess I shared with you that I was confused on how to share with the rest, and I was leaving it on to you to do the onboarding. And and what happened, particularly this last days, is that I received feedback of like that was very unclear, and you know, it's like you should have been more clear of the and and what was required and the agreements and the milestones of where we are and the budget and this, and that's has to do with that we left that space unoccupied.
Totally.
You know, because we didn't take it on Prisma. Yeah. And we didn't use other tooling in order to bring order to the process. So we stayed nowhere, and I received an oops.
Sorry. Yeah. And as we're saying this now, I'm realizing that when I sent the link to the milestones, which I only shared 2 or 3 times, maybe. I thought that's fully public. They'll share that amongst themselves, and they'll see what needs to be done. And then because we've transferred the majority of the budget to the participating organizations, that means transfer of ownership as well. So yeah. Cool, I'll just get back to code. That's what I thought. And I think if we'd have had more time and we weren't all drawn into this constant immediacy, at some point we would have realized, like, hold on, we need to recap these parts. And we would have addressed it probably.
Yeah, of course. But
but okay, going forwards, in thinking of these 3 distinctions that we made, I think that it's going to be difficult for me to continue with the a big chunk of resource, a big chunk of time, if we're not, if it's not aligned with how we can also grow as an organization, as well as the clients, the partners. Transfer what the
do the warning that you are not doing. And I would not do it on this to have it. I mean, it's interesting, but as all that I'm doing, we simply will say, you know,
yeah.
But that's a separate project for Kristen.
It's
And it's not, you don't see a value for your hub.
yeah, but
So the other option is to you figure out a way of put it on your pipeline.
we can do onboarding. We can
On your pipeline, meaning the information from each hub to push it through your system yourself.
it just doesn't work like that.
I know. Or because maybe you can find a way for the catalyst purpose.
So
That's a call that you need to make. That's something you need to think. But you need to talk with Fina. I don't know. I don't know. You need to figure out. But also, you need to let us know.
I've already talked to a friend.
Okay.
We need to try and figure. We need to try and make a decision now.
Okay.
So, I think what you just touched on is helpful because the level of FE as a client and Prisma would need to drastically develop in order for it to make sense to continue with this. And I say that to say that I don't think it's viable for us, for Prisma, to continue with this Cardano grant with Effie and all of the rest of the network if we're not able to demonstrate creating value as Prisma. Doesn't make sense. So the way that we create value is, in simple terms, methodology and tooling. That wasn't adopted this time for various reasons, as we've been discussing. But if we want to consider going forwards, I need to know that we're going to be able to create value as Prisma, as an organization.
How do you know that?
Exactly.
What gives you?
So we're going to need to clarify whatever is needed in terms of that relationship between Prisma as an entity and FE as a client.
It's not FE, it's like a
okay.
It's a series of
FE
networks. Yeah.
Okay.
This is not a single have decision. This is like this is a result, a clear result of of non-verbally agreed group decision that nobody saw any kind of tooling, but they needed the process that they could use.
I think
yeah, anyway.
One thing that I feel like I've been running up against, which I would like us to make sure that we're addressing if we are considering this second stage, is something that is very normal and that has happened in previous partnerships as well, which is this general the uncertainty, sense of uncertainty. And it happens at the beginning of the relationships because there's a lot of systemic design that has gone into Prisma and how it works, weaving methodology and tooling, which makes it very difficult to understand at first, very difficult to have a sense of it. So at the beginning of these new partnerships, there's always a sense of like, how much do we buy into this? Yeah, we've had it before.
Some people, it's okay to hold uncertainty.
Yeah. Yeah.
For most people, not.
Yeah. I get that. It's normal.
But it's not just they cannot hold uncertainty, they cannot also hold uncertainty if there's no clarity on the tooling, because you know you can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you need to make this clear, like, you know, raise your hand in a meeting in a group and say, hey, this is what happened. It's like you didn't share anything yesterday regarding this.
Yeah,
you're doing it with me in private.
I know, in English.
Huh?
In English.
But everybody, you know, you could have done it in English.
Yeah.
You could still do it in English. And I think it's extremely important to do it.
Yeah.
For you and for me.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
It's not fair to me either.
No.
Huh?
I get that. Yeah. So,
but you need also to have clarity if you think that it's doable.
Yeah.
And the explanation has to be
crystal clear,
very practical, and not
pedagogical,
not philosophical. Yeah, it's very clear and practical terms.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, are you saying then, am I understanding correctly that you're saying you'd like is a proposal, in a way, from my side,
Yeah,
as Prisma proposal is.
realistic,
Yeah.
not like a dream, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
like I said before, after the event, it's
Yeah.
a different nature
of course, yeah,
because so much of the event is making visible the potential,
yeah.
so that the role of the event is to materialize it.
Mhm.
So that's why I can't talk about the reality of things, because it feels like it's dragging us away from the potential. So I had to commit to maintaining the potential of what it could be, to invite the possibility that we get there as much as possible. But now that it's happened, in a way, I am liberated to take a different approach.
Yeah. Take it. Or say, you know,
Yeah.
this is it.
Well, yeah. To be honest
that's
with you,
fine, but
I also want to be as clear as I can be for myself, because of what I said before, that I don't see it's viable to continue in the current way, because it doesn't give us a way to demonstrate the value that we can create as people. So some things definitely do need to change. So if I'm gonna make a proposal, I need it to be, I need to be as confident about it that it will actually lead to some results for my own interest as well, not just doing it because of the collective dream and stuff.
No, that's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll need some time to make that. I won't try and do it now to have that clear.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, or 5 hours maybe. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Okay. Yeah. No, whatever. But we need to communicate clearly to the rest, to the world understanding.
Do you think?
And we can decide
Yeah.
as a group what to do, and you as a person maybe too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't make, you know, I think you made up your mind that it doesn't make any sense for personal.
To continue as things are currently going.
Yeah. So you see other potentials for Prisma?
Do I?
I see lot
Yeah.
of potentials for Prisma.
Yeah.
In this trajectory of this crime with these people,
Yeah.
at the moment. um,
How much?
at the moment, I don't. Yeah. At the moment.
But how much are we gonna try and change realistically within the space of? Well, we don't have to
Change what?
the trajectory. Because, for example, one thing that I could include in my proposal is that the communication space will be Telegram, period. People just need to join the group. Full stop. That's one example of something that I would probably almost definitely include, just to make it easier for us to move forward.
Among whom?
Any participating
person.
Yeah. Do you think that? Well, okay, if we say that.
What does it mean communicating through Telegram?
What I mean
people
is,
will sign up through a form if you really force them to.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't through Telegram because it's not what they do in everyday. Communication is taking a huge part of our lives.
Yeah, it's a
huge part of our lives. So it's like you decide how you communicate with your peers, network, friends, coworkers, and so forth. You know, the work decides and you decide. If one project says, okay, you need to use this tool to be part of this project. Some people may fall.
It's a bit oppressive.
Some people may just say, you know, I already opened them. I have all these channels open. And Telegram, I never used it. I have no idea. But I don't want to open more channels of communication. Okay, I sign up for a form because I know it's a requirement. But I sign up through the Luma forum with Telegram or whatever. But don't ask me to keep myself updated there all the time. You know, it's like I'm part of Quintessencia. Paul will have me. And actually, Paul will say, okay, I sign up to the form too. But, you know, if something happened, I hope that Antonio or Danny will tell me because I don't read them. Because I'm shrinking my level of digital communication distraction because it messes with my health. We find it cool to use Telegram instead of WhatsApp and that's a lot of functionalities. But other people, they already have one way of communicating. So anyway, that was fun with that. It's like we can get everybody to do one action in Taiwan, but maybe not everybody to be all the time.
Okay, let me think.
Maybe we can get one responsible for every group to be communicated through Telegram. That's the highest possible scenario.
Yeah,
it's like we can get Fermenting Humans, we can get Efficacia Campana, you can get Archibrazo, and the rest, we don't know. I already know that Quintessencia is not in Telegram, for example, but we can have the signature of one of them for what. But the signature is not going to mean communication necessarily. Yeah, necessary, but who knows? I mean, maybe you know people see the value. I've been trying to push people out of Telegram for quite a long, out of WhatsApp for quite a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely need.
But you need to write those minimum requirements if you do want at all. But maybe you don't want to.
Yeah, I know. When I hear these things, I start to feel like maybe I don't.
Maybe you don't.
Yeah. Let me think about it. Let me see what we can do.
Maybe you can move to chain agnostic and platform agnostic. I see there are new functionalities in WhatsApp, which I think is
Yeah, have you heard of Matrix?
Say it again?
Matrix.
Matrix is of my friends, I guess.
Yeah, friends in Matrix. It's communication infrastructure.
It's not Matrix.
You basically
they're competing with they're trying to bring a decentralized
like a platform agnostic direct messaging that runs on a federated node infrastructure. So you run Matrix on your own node, and you can bridge to Telegram, WhatsApp, Slack.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's really cool. So I want to start building
Matrix. I have Matrix network.
Probably not.
No, but it's good, interesting people to check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They are in this building a sort of decentralized social platform.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's more social platform than communication. It's funny that has Matrix.
Yeah. And it's funny how people building communication infrastructure is so in a way it has many parallels with blockchain because it's about decentralization, but it's sort of a sibling field. It's not necessarily overlap. The decentralized internet folks, I feel like, are a different camp to the blockchain folks. But very many parallels in the technology. And then you realize, like, oh my god, this work is vast. Like
it is
vast.
Yeah.
The number of people working on decentralization is insane.
From different aspects.
Yeah. And like massive projects, huge technical infrastructure effort, like huge. Yeah.
From the ground up or related to organizations. You know what I mean? Coming from corporations and governments?
No.
Really ground up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people that are.
This is the famous Antichrist. Right? You know what I mean? No? The fear of Peter Thiel and company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find good company. I find friends in that company, or
in which companies?
In the company of people that are see him as like an antichrist kind of thing.
No, I think I thought that is the way. Like when we say Antichrist, it's like he's the Antichrist.
Yeah.
But I think it's coming actually from him.
Oh, really?
It's coming from him saying that
Wow.
the Antichrist is coming. And if I'm not mistaken, it's his vision that planet fibers and ground up movements are taking over on their manifestation of something.
It's crazy.
They're anti-development.
Wow.
I think so.
I've watched.
Can you explore that?
I've watched the debate between Peter Thiel and David Graeber. Do you know David Graeber?
No.
An anthropologist and organizer. He developed. He did a lot of work in direct democracy. Really important figure. He wrote like a huge book on the history the history of communities from an anthropological perspective. Anyway, a debate between Peter Thiel and David Graeber, and he just made Peter Thiel look like
he did,
like an idiot. Yeah, like an absolute idiot. Like anyway, I don't want to say this on recording, but it's a different conversation. But he didn't look good.
Send me that conversation.
Yeah, well, it's one of my favorite talks ever. Should we cut this?
So, Doko is saying that we didn't include Lucho's organization as I don't know that we can. He's really in, huh? He wrote to me yesterday.
Cool.
He's the. I don't know how come suddenly I said I need to invite him. He's the guy that brought Antonio. Yeah,
Antonio.
Yeah.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah.
The permaculture.
Yes.
Yeah, he was really cool.
And somebody said, hey, you want to come to this event and you know any other organizations that are, because he constantly gets requesting workshops or asesoramiento, I don't know how you say it, coaching to developments, communities, etc. So he's like a coach of community communities.
Oh.
So I thought he would bring more people to the table. But that's actually what I need to do. I need to ask him to
refer
more people.
Yeah.
He's the one to refer them.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. I mean,
probably so he doesn't like anyone.
He doesn't like what?
He doesn't like anyone. they're all sinners.
Cynics.
No, they're sinners. They're not He's very purist usually.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in certain things. Like the biggest discussion we had was like using volunteers as a way of growing, taking care of the territory and then. So no, it's robbing more from the local communities.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
But with that mentality, you don't grow because you need to make the place sustainable, and then you start bringing the community to be part of it. But if you're not sustainable because you don't want to sin in making your friends and the young people come and participate as volunteers. Oh no, that's a sin. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like chicken and the egg, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lucio, but we need to commit a sin.
The show must go on.
And the show must go on when you need volunteers. Or else we sing.
Yeah. Okay. So
Anyway.
I know what I need to. Well, it's very clear that that next step of me making a proposal, if I decide that it makes sense to me.
Well, let us know as soon as possible. And I think we should like download this to something to share with.
Oh, you want the transcript summary?
Yeah, would be useful. And also for everyone to know, and particularly for local. Yeah. But there are ways around if you need to walk away. Huh?
That's a real seed that you just planted.
I'm sorry.
That's a real hook.
It's not a hook, it's like there's I'm speaking now from the network.
Yeah, good.
Not as myself.
Great. I like that.
Okay. Now I'm speaking from the network.
Yeah.
You came with something very valuable.
Yeah.
And you planted the seed and we took it.
Yeah.
And we grew into something.
Yeah.
And it's not fair for us to just let it die because one of the members of the group doesn't want to be part of it. You don't want to be part of it. It's totally understandable.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It has to be like that.
Yeah.
And also, it's a necessary part of the role of any facilitating input that they're ready to then let go and see what remains after they leave.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So and that includes to maybe explore, maybe there's no way, but maybe explore a way of continuing the, I don't know, maybe they take a letter of transfer of responsibilities.
That's
and that
I see.
In a way, it has to be in a way that doesn't damage you, but but maybe we found a way.
One last reflection.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I refer to these last programs and the last events. That was with the same one client called WADA, who already had several years of work in Cardano, and it was a long relationship, a long partnership between Prisma and that client. So we could build up a lot over that period of time. Well, I think one thing that's really standing out for me now is how open and infused, how enthusiastically they were, like pro adoption, basically. Like, okay, tell us what we need to do. Okay, we need to do this, cool, okay, we'll get it done, kind of thing. We need to use Telegram for this time around, okay, cool.
Right.
And
But it's different.
it's different, yeah.
Yeah.
Hola, Alex. Todo bien, ¿estás abajo? Dale, dale, entonces me voy ahora. Nos vemos, chao. Great, so Alex has just arrived, which
You're going out or he's coming in?
he's coming in. Okay, so let's call it a wrap for now.
Yeah. Couple more things.
Okay.
We need to, I don't know if it's part of this meeting or not. I don't think it's part of this meeting. It's part of the next meeting.
Right.
Is to feed into the closing numbers.
Yeah.
It's probably not in your domain, but there are a few things in that spreadsheet that
Yeah.
remain open. Maybe we discuss it as mentioned.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
When is some compensation for the space?
Yeah.
I do need to pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other is decision on the remaining budget. Contributions to whoever was putting the time and effort on that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I don't know how is. Have any suggestions? Let me know.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll discuss it with the rest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Let me close this, open
Okay,
for Alex, and then.